Welcome back to Hexcells, the puzzling minesweeper variant game that I can't give a better name to. Well, let's hop right into World 2. Left. Alright. 8 mines. Can't be here, or here. Forcing one here. This 2 would be overworked. This one would be overworked. 0, 0, 0, 1. And this one would be overworked if any of these were mines. This 2 forces 1 here. 3 forces 2 here. This 3 is finished. This 2 is finished. This 1 is finished. 0, 0, 0, 3. Neither can be here. These are both only touching 1, and the final cell, with only 1 remaining, of course. Next, onward, 2. 0 can be touching this. 1 is already touching this, so that would make it overworked. 1's already touching this, so that would make it overworked. Bam, overwork. Bullshit. 2 touching here. 0 can be touching this. Only 1 can be touching here and here. This one only has 2 adjacent, so, finish that up. This one already has 2 adjacent. This one only has 2 adjacent. This one already has 2 adjacent. 2 adjacent to you. 2 adjacent to you. Only 2 adjacent to you. 2 adjacent already to you. 1 is already adjacent to you. Only have 1 adjacent to you. Bam, bam, bam. 0. Just notice that. Get rid of that. Alright. Now, neither of those. Only 2 touching. Get rid of you and you. You can also cross you out. You can't be 1. Only 2 touching. You can only have 1 touching there. 1. You can only have 1 touching here. 1. You can only have 1 touching here. Alright. 3. You already have 3 touching. Alright, now let's look at this. We have 2 mines remaining. So, if a mine is here, neither of these can be mines. This would have to be a mine. And this couldn't be a mine. No. Yes. This would... No, wait. Neither of these can be mines. I'm dumbass. That can't be a mine. That has to be a mine, I mean. That can't be a mine. This has to be a mine. And that can't be a mine. 2-2 complete. Alright, we can get rid of the stuff next to the zeros right away. This one's already touching 1. Already touching 1. Already touching 1. Already touching 1. Touching 1. Touching 1. Touching 1. 1 here. Finish that 2. This 2 is now complete. That would be overworked. That would be overworked. That would be overworked. Bop. Boom. Finish you off. 2 touching here. That can't be 1. 1 already touching a mine. 1 already touching a mine. 1 mine here. Can only be touching 1 mine. Only be touching 1 mine. Has to be touching 1. You're already touching 2. You're already touching 1. Alright. Now let's continue looking. Can only be touching 1 mine. Alright. 2 mines touching. Can only be touching 2. Already touching a mine. Already touching a mine. Alright. Well, So look here. That's already touching 2. That has to complete that. Can only be touching 1. Has to be touching 2. Can only be touching 1. Already touching 2. Has to be touching 2. Already touching 1. Already touching 1. Can only be touching 1. Already touching 1. Has to be touching 2. Boom! 2-3 complete. On to 2-4. That's a 0. That's a 0. This is a 0. Zeros all around. Alright, now we can start the puzzling stuff. That's finished. Finish that 2. Forces a mine here. Get rid of that. That's a 0. Has to be a 1 here. Two. That 2 is complete because of that. That's already touching 1. That's already touching 1. Has to be touching 1 here. That's done. That's done. 2. 1, 2, 3. Bup, bup, bup. 1. Alright. 1 there. That's already touching 3. That's touching 1. That's only touching 1. That's already touching 1 now. Has to be touching 2. Has to be touching 2. Already touching 2. Final 1 there. That's already touching 1. That has to be touching 2. That's touching 2 now. And that's already touching 1. That's World 2 complete. But I think I'm also going to do World 3 because that was so quick. World 3. A line number tells you the number of blue cells along its line. You can left-click to open a guide and right-click to mark as complete. So you see, click them, shows you there can be none touching here. And then we say, hey, we're done with those. We can get rid of them. 0, 0, 0, 0. 1 touching here. There has to be 3, and there's only 3 cells here. So they all have to be mines. And this 2 is only touching 2 cells, so that has to be 1. This 4 is only touching 4. There's only 2 in this column, so that has to be complete. There's only 3 in this column, so that forces mines. And that's the little new gimmick that we got introduced to already. A number with brackets tells you that the blue cells are consecutive. So basically they're in a row. So 2 here. They're, no matter what, in any circumstance, there would have to be 1s here. We can mark that off. Now, this 3 would be overworked if either of these were mines, so neither of them are mines. And to complete the 2s, those both have to be mines. Now, all cells will be consecutive with this. But there is something different that I'll show you later. It also goes over gaps. So, see, there's 1 there, 2 up, and then none of these can be mines. Two, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 have to be mines no matter what, meaning that neither of these can be mines, and this has to be a mine because of the 1. This 1 is complete. That completes 4. We can mark that off. That already has 1 touching, and because of the 2, showing this is the last mine and 1 mine's remaining, bam! It's a mine. Alright, let's see. 0 here, meaning that there's none touching it. 1 touching there, that's finished. Only 1 can be in here. We can mark both of you off. and we see that this has to be consecutive, and it can't be either top or bottom, because then it would be overwhelming the ones, so it has to be through here, finishing that. Both have to be touching the 3, and then because of the 4, we can see that this would have to be consecutive, and we can finish off the 4. 0, can't be 1 here, can't be 1 here. This has 3 in it, so these have to be mines. 3 here means that this has to be a mine. 1 here says that that can't be a mine. 3 here says that that can't be a mine. That was a mistake. Which would give you 1 before they actually say, hey, you fucked up. This 0 here says that no mines can be here. And this 1 would be overworked. There's a mine here. You can finish that off. There's only 2 cells left here, so they both have to be mines. 3 here. Now see, it can't go up. It can't be up here, because then the 2 would either be overworked or the cells wouldn't be consecutive. So it has to be bottom here and going down, which we can say that neither of these are mines. That 1 would be overworked, and this 3 tells us that all 3 of those are mines. I couldn't check off that last one. That's going to mess with some people. Lines inside of a number inside of the little dashes tells you that the blue cells are not consecutive. So at least one of them is separated from the others. At least one. So this can't be a mine because they have to be separated. Both of these now have to be mines because there's only 2 left. And this 2 would be overworked if any of these are mines. These 2s are completed. Can't be any here. And because it only goes over gaps and not other tiles, that we've already checked off, this 2 tells us that this has to be a mine and neither of these can be mines. This shows that these have to be mines. These have to be mines. These have to be mines. This 2 is complete. This 2 is complete. And also the 0 showed us that. These ones have to have 1 connected. This 2 is complete. This 2 is complete. These ones would be overworked. These ones can finish off. This tells us that it can't be 1 here. And this 3 shows us that the mines have to be there. This 2 would be overworked if either of these were mines, so neither of them are. This one already has 1 connected. That can't be a mine. That must be a mine. None of these can be mines because we already have 1. Neither of these can be mines because it's 0. This must be a mine to complete the 2. To complete this one, this has to be a mine, and this one is already complete, so it can't be a mine. To complete this one, only one of these can be mines, and to complete the 2s, this one has to be a mine. Finishing that. This 2 is already complete, meaning that that can't be a mine. This 2 is already complete, meaning that this can't be a mine, and only 1 cell remaining, so that must be a mine. Alright. 0, that can't be a mine. Alright. We're gonna have to look through this. Alright, so this 4, we look 4 up or 4 down. All 3 of these have to be mines no matter what. Look over here. We see that this one always has to be a mine no matter what. Then these can't be mines. This must be a mine, and then that finishes that. This 2 is only touching 2, so this must be mine. This cannot be mine because 1 would be overworked. Neither of these can be mine, or else 2 would be overworked. 3 overwork, 2 overworked. This 2 would be underworked if this wasn't mine. This 1 would be overworked if that was mine. And this 1 must be mine. This has to be mine, according to the 2 here. We can also cross off these. This 2 would be overworked if that was mine, and this cannot. This must be mine, I mean. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Must be mine. That cannot be mine. And it won't go over our deleted tiles, so these must both be mine. This cannot be mine. This 1 tells us that this must be mine. This 2 tells us that this must be mine. This 2 tells us that this must be mine. This 1 tells us this can't be mine. This can't be mine. This 3 tells us this must be mine. This 2 tells us this can't be mine. 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 Must be mine. Can't be mine. Can't be mine. Must be mine. I mean, can't be mine. I got stuff backwards in my head. This must be mine, and this must be mine. And that's worlds 3 and 5 and 2. Next we'll go over world 4. But as you are all listening, thank you for watching. Have a good night, afternoon, lunch, or have a good morning.